Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to I'm on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome once again to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. I'm your host, Gregory Iron, and this is episode 316. What? I said episode 316.
Pardon the interruption.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This is not Aaron Bauer, but it is Zach Thomas.
Oh. I didn't even see you come in.
How could you miss me? I got a big ass head.
All right. Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too, buddy.
How's everything?
All right. Surviving.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You seem unsure about that.
Yeah, mental health sucks. That's all.
Oh, no. Is this the path we're going down?
No, I'm just, you asked.
I'm
just telling you. I don't want to go down that path. I was just telling you that mental health sucks.
You want to talk about it? We talk about it a lot on the show.
Oh, I'm sure
what are you
we
feeling?
do.
You don't got to go too deep. What you feeling, man?
A lot of anxiety all the time.
Sounds kind of spooky with the Halloween coming up, you know? Spooky feelings inside your brain.
More like my chest, but all the
thoughts
same.
in your chest.
Well, it just feels heavy on my chest a lot all the time. And no, I'm not about to have a heart attack.
I was going to say, yeah, you sure you don't got a heart condition?
No, not that I know of.
Oh, my God. That's horrible.
I don't know. Just thinking about a lot of stuff going forward. Like, with doing things, you just overanalyze it and overthink. That's it.
Do you have one thing you want to touch on that you're overthinking? Or like a random example?
Just not doing much. Feel like a lot of the medicine that I'm on is making me unmotivated.
Now, and the medicine is a recent thing.
Yeah, over like the last couple months, I think.
Well, you know, you've been taking medicine. That's because you've also been going to therapy.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I do my therapy, and, you know, it's something I've been open about on the show. And do you feel you're getting anything from either the medicine and or the therapy?
The medicine I feel like works, but I feel like it's a blessing and a curse. You go to therapy, you get it all out, but then all the stuff that you get out is then in the front of your brain. So then you're constantly reliving it, or depending on if it's good or bad, you know. Most of the time it could be bad, so you're reliving all the bad versus the good.
So after you relive these things, how do you feel about them going forward? Do you feel like unpacking this out of your brain, even though it's like in the front? Do you feel like it's better that you have sat with it? Because that's what I've felt in the experience. It's like it's been nice to feel these things that I actually feel. And by the way, before you answer that, you know, we are going to talk a little bit of wrestling today. We are going to answer some of your questions from social media, and I'm going to talk about my past weekend in Orlando, Florida with the Gargano family and how that went down. Talk to Zach about what's new in his life other than the mental health stuff. And you know, we got a few spooky questions, so we'll answer some of those as well. But yeah, do you feel better getting that stuff out?
Yeah, but then there's the there's no end goal from it, if that makes sense. Like, there's no, depending what it is like you've lived it, you relive it, and then you think on it, but then there's no, like, I guess, payoff to it.
Well, there is a payoff. The payoff is to,
I guess with the person or the situation that you're going through, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you've already lived it and stuff, but like there was no, I don't know. I guess there was a payoff, but it was never good. You know what I mean?
well, it depends on what you mean. Like if you're talking about someone or something that you went through with someone that isn't around anymore, you know,
True.
that's difficult to come to terms with sometimes. But also, like, you have to think about things like, just for me, for example, you know, like when I think about my grandma or grandpop, you know, and my experiences with them and how they're not around anymore and like how I miss them, you know, I tend to think about, you know, instead of focusing on the bad, like thinking about like, you know, there's things that I can't tell them or show them, but through my actions, even though they're not here, I could do the things that they would have wanted me to do. You know, so you have to think
Right.
about it like that. Like the end goal has to be, I think, and it's different for everybody, but I think in a lot of ways is like, you know, something I learned in therapy is like do better, be better. And I had said that in one of my therapy sessions, and the therapist was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, actually. I just kind of said it." And she's like, "Well, maybe we should figure out what that is." And so by the end of, you know, the first couple months with her, she asked me again, "What is do better, be better?" And I figured out it's like I gotta do better for me to be better for others, you know, because like again, like I think the biggest thing that comes from your pain is the fact that you're not the only one dealing with it. I think there are people close to you that also have to deal with that in some way, and that affects them. And then I think also there's, for lack of a better term, innocent bystanders, people that don't know what you're going through, maybe don't even know you, but then they get affected by what you're doing. And like, I don't know, every action has a reaction, and everything that you felt because of someone doing something right or wrong, it's like you can put those same things onto people, whether it be intentional or not, right?
Sure.
Like it's like the way you carry yourself and the things you do like will affect others, whether you realize or not. I like to put it in simple terms as like when I think back to being in school, you always remember the coolest teacher you had. And you always remember the fucking worst teacher you have. And you always think about how and why both of those teachers are in those categories.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like they might not even necessarily like went out of their way to be cool or horrible. They might even not even realize that they're cool or horrible. But it might have affected you really badly in school, you know?
Yeah.
And they don't even know those actions. So I don't know. Like I the goal is just to do better, be better, I guess.
True. I guess I was meaning by the payoff was you don't get to question those people in those circumstances if they aren't alive anymore.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
So then like what's the alternative? And also have you talked to the therapist about being like, well, what do I do since they're not around?
No, I haven't asked that. No.
Well, maybe
But
it's
I also haven't had a session in a while because cancellations.
yeah, that's weird. That's that you're having so many issues like that. But I think perhaps that's the next thing you have to figure out and learn to sit with is like, you know, you can't get a payoff with that person or those people. So it's like, how do you pay that off with them not around?
Right.
And I think depending on the situation, you know, the people that you care about that you might want to say things to, I don't think they want you to carry that burden. They wouldn't want to see you walk with that pain. They'd like to see you be better than perhaps what they projected on you, or you know, all those things. But we're rambling.
Yeah. Sorry.
But no,
brought it
I
up.
mean, hot start to the show. But you know, we're gonna talk about my past weekend and stuff, and we're gonna do bonus content later in the week. Patreon.com/Iron Wrestling. Buttload of bonus content starting at $3, where I'm gonna get you a bonus episode or two this week at some point on the Patreon. But also, Zach, you've probably noticed I've gotten a bunch of packages in the mail over the last week. I've got a bunch of toys that I'm going to be unboxing exclusively on the $5 tier for Patreon members and talking about those shenanigans. Recently got a bunch of vintage Hasbro style figures that I'm going to unbox and check out, and we're going to examine. And $9 tier gets priority picking bonus podcast subjects if they choose to do so, and questions. And of course, we will have a live chat at some point next month. So stick around for that. And of course, if you're in the $25 and up Animal Steel tier, you'll be getting something in December in the mail. You guys just got packages for this past September. So I hope you enjoyed those. And, make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you download. Subscribe to YouTube. Still growing. We're almost to 10,000 subscribers. We're about 1,000 away. So keep subbing and keep sharing the YouTube. We are finally, I guess we should talk about this real quick. In honor of 316, this episode, we are uncovering even colder Mike Austin interviews from a talk show that used to air on local Cleveland and Akron affiliate station, channel 30, I think it was 35, The Cat, called Pro Wrestling Weekly. And so Even Colder has been sitting down on these shows, these early episodes from April and May of 1999, and we've been clipping his portion of it. And man, I didn't even realize it. This guy cutting a promo doesn't even fucking try to talk like Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's really weird and awkward.
Well, I guess the question is, was this man well known
Even
in the
colder?
wrestling world? Yeah.
I mean, well known for being a Stone Cold ripoff, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Aaron once told me a story that he was at a show that Even Colder was at, and he was in the ring drinking beer, and Even Colder tossed a beer after he drank it and landed on the ground. A guy picked it up and unironically looked at a friend and go, "I'm gonna sell this on eBay." To who? It's not a Stone Cold drinking beer. It's a fucking Even Colder Mike Austin drinking beer. And also, of course, drank. And Eric from Patreon, he actually sent me a little screenshot because he said, he was endorsed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was like, what are you talking about? And there's something on the internet that claims, he must have said in an interview or something, that he went to Stone Cold Steve Austin and personally asked for his blessing to do the gimmick. Now, mind you, he would have had to go to Stone Cold while he was the top wrestler in the world in 99 and said, "Hey, Steve, question for you. I would like to pretend to be you on independent wrestling shows and call myself Even Colder, and then, sell shirts that say Austin 319, which I don't even know what the fuck that means." And Austin said, "Go ahead, son, that's fine. Go ahead." And that never happened.
Might have.
Not a real thing, because Steve personally told me on his podcast, not on the podcast, but off air when we were recording the podcast, when I said, what do you know about guys who have mocked your gimmick? And Steve said, "Evan Colder." I said, even Colder. He goes, "I don't know the guy, but he's a fucking jabroni mark. And I don't know if he's your friend, but if he is, I apologize, but he's a fucking jabroni mark." And I didn't have the heart to tell him, oh yeah, he just died 2 months ago, which also
right.
not my friend, but R.I.P. Even Colder. We're honoring him on the YouTube with his terrible promos from 1999. Your thoughts on rip-off characters, and do you know any from your experience, in your time traveling in the indies?
Plenty that I don't know the names, but I know for a fact would rip off the Cogers multiple times.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. But didn't kind of the Cogers start off as a Wyatt family ripoff? To be fair, no disrespect to Atticus and Otis.
Yeah, but they went to the distance of doing the skin mask type deal, and people would try to rip that off, and getting dirty type thing, and
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, we all got to start off somewhere. We try to emulate others, and we find the good ones. The good ones find their own thing, right?
True.
That's what it comes down to. What's been going on with your wrestling journey personally? I know you've been doing a lot of traveling. You made your GCW debut.
I did.
Not too long ago. How was that?
Great. It was a great opportunity. Got in, I believe it was a six-man scramble. Don't remember the other guys.
That's
To be
okay.
honest,
It's okay. You made your debut. You got
Did.
a lot of positive feedback.
did talk to a lot of guys in the back, and there was positive feedback. I mean, some constructive criticism,
Yeah.
which a lot of us need.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the future, there's more open opportunities based off of the opportunity I was given there.
Yeah. What's coming up next on your schedule?
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but King 810 is a band out of Flint, Michigan, and I'm going to be doing, I believe, like a concert type thing with them this Saturday, November 1st.
Oh.
Doing like a rehearsal on what's Wednesday, the 29th? Yeah, the 29th.
Yeah, so when the podcast drops.
So when the podcast drops, I'll be doing a rehearsal.
What does that mean? You're not a musician.
So I'm not a musician, but they have like on stage like actors doing stuff. So like me, Christian Napier, and the Cogers are involved with that.
So you'll be doing like a live performance.
Yeah, during them playing and stuff, or in between the songs.
Okay.
Hard to speak.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But I mean, that's a cool thing because that's one of your favorite bands.
Yeah, literally got it tattooed on me.
You haven't met them officially yet?
I have. I've met them a couple times.
Okay.
Actually, fun fact is their photographer was one of Verdi's friends from working at Converse years ago, and he ended up coming to like some of our shows and ended up being our travel photographer for a little bit.
Mm.
And he's how we actually got to meet like David and them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's actually the reason why we got into doing the whole thing.
Well, that's
It's
a pretty cool thing. I mean, it's nice when you have those moments because of wrestling that you probably wouldn't have had otherwise with people that you look up to, especially when we talk about this music thing. Like, it was like a really thrilling experience for me the first time that I got to. I think the first musician that I really worked with was Andy, the butcher, before he made it big, and I knew that he was trying to get into wrestling, and I saw he was going to be at Warped Tour, and I started tweeting at him like, "Hey, I'll fight you" or whatever. And then he DM'd me. He's like, "Can we actually do this? I would like that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." And I grew up liking Every Time I Die, so it was like a really cool thing for me. And then like, unbeknownst to me, I ended up through Derek Dillinger at a freelance show meeting Kyle from Real Friends, and I'm like marking out for him, and then I go like, "Man, it's your first indie show?" He's like, "I come to these shows in Chicago all the time. I've been seeing you wrestle here for years." I was like, "Oh, fuck." I had no idea. And so now like it's nice that I could like contact Kyle and the guys in the band, and anytime they come to town and go see them. And I don't know, I guess you don't think about stuff like that when you're doing this, like, or just like random shit that like I don't even like, I wasn't directly involved with, but getting to one time at GCW, obviously, Nate Webb famously comes out to Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus, okay? And one of the shows, he just had the lead singer of Wheatus hanging out with him in the back, so we all got to meet and talk to the lead singer of Wheatus. Like, wasn't performing, just Nate has become friends with him over the years because he's always, using the theme, and I don't know, pretty wild, but fucking pro wrestling's weird.
It's real, yeah.
Real quick, before we go into the other questions of the show, I do want to have a little bit of a Halloween portion here. And coincidentally, Kale over on the Patreon asked, "What are your spookiest Halloween memories in costume form, or your favorite spooky movies?" So, I guess we'll start with you. If you had to think about maybe a couple of your favorite costumes that you ever had, for the Halloween season, and maybe a couple of your favorite scary movies. What do you got?
Are we going with the spooky moment though too? Is that one of them?
I guess a moment.
Scariest moment?
Moment, costume, and movie.
Can't really remember any good costumes, not gonna lie for me. But there was a time when we were living like with Tina and Taylor, when we were walking the streets to trick or treat. There was a dude that was like dressed as a Grim Reaper with like a real scythe going through the streets, and you could just hear it grinding. And I always remember being just scared.
That's pretty terrifying.
And then probably one of my favorite scary movies, and it's not really scary, it's just considered to be scary, is Scary Movie 2.
Okay. It's not, who's considering it to be scary?
I just said it's not even considered to be scary.
All right.
Not that I remember them, but I know the Scream movies I like, but I only like them / hate them because I hated them as a kid.
Yeah, that's how I was with Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Would you say that maybe Ghostface was like the first like person or thing that you were afraid of? Because when I think of like what I was scared of as a kid, it was definitely Freddy Krueger, and I had seen just enough of Freddy movies as a child to where, you know, years later when I actually watched the movies in their entirety, I was like, holy shit, like I had reoccurring nightmares about these scenes all the time, and I don't even remember watching them. I just remember them being in my nightmares. And, you know, I don't know if you remember this deeply, but I remember the mindset of like when I'd go to bed at night, like weird things you think about as a kid that you're like, why did I think that would help? Like my feet, when I would go to bed, I'd have to have them tucked under the blanket because I thought that if Freddy Krueger did come into the room, if he saw my feet sticking out, he would be able to grab them and then I would be done for. And like legitimately, one time, you know, when as a kid, I had this best friend, Ryan, that would stay over, and, you know, he went to wake me up in the middle of the night to play video games because we had a certain time we had to stop playing video games or else Dad would get pissed.
Yeah.
So I was like in 4th or 5th grade, and I must have like fell asleep and my foot came out from under the blanket because all of a sudden, like, Ryan, not knowing that I have this fear, like grabbed my foot, and I was like, what the fuck? And I like popped up, and it was just, he's like, oh, let's play video games. I was like, oh, okay. But I really, inside, I wanted to like just fucking piss all over my bed because I'm just like, I thought Freddy Krueger was about to kill me.
So like, what about this thought though? If your feet were out or not out, understandable. But what about your head? Did you cover your whole body?
Sometimes like my head would start under the cover, but it would gradually peek out. But again, my thought process was he's not going for the head. He's grabbing my foot.
Okay.
And he's going to pull me from the bed by my feet.
Gotcha. So. But yeah, Ghostface was probably the first thing or being that I was scared of. Because I remember it in Kentucky. It was at Grandpa's that Mom put it on for some reason. That was, or something, it was on the TV probably. But for some reason, that was something I watched, and I remember being scared of it.
What was it about Ghostface? Because, like, obviously Freddy, he's, like, burned and everything. Like, why the fear of Ghostface? Because I like the movies, but I always thought, like, the character... I think it's cooler now, but as a kid, I'm just like, man, so meh.
Well, thinking now it's cheesy, but, like, back then, I don't know. I honestly don't know why I would be scared of that.
Yeah. Let's see. Moment... movie. Do you have an actual scary movie besides Scream though? So scary movie, Scream, what else?
Oh, I really like Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, that is a classic, yeah. I mean, it combines two of the best franchises, and that was a long time coming for sure. Do you like any modern horror movies? There's been a couple.
Beetlejuice.
That is not modern.
2?
Okay, I mean Beetlejuice 2 is good.
That's modern.
But also, I would consider it really scary as much as
I
it's
guess.
like a comedy. I get there's horror elements in it. There was not too long ago I watched that it's not Barbarian, but it's Barber something, where like the girl is staying at an Airbnb and the other guy happens to be staying at an Airbnb, and then it progresses from there. Someone listening will know what I'm talking about. You're going to look it up and pronounce it right. But it's actually pretty good. I watched it on Netflix. I do, before this week ends, I've got to watch the Terrifier movies because I think it's right up my alley. Have you seen those?
I believe 1 and 2.
Okay.
It's literally just called Barber. That's
Definitely not the movie.
Okay.
But it's not called Barber. It's actually a movie about the life of Brutus the Barber. Beefcake.
Seamless killing. That's all it is. To
be
honest. I mean, there is still kind of a story to it, but
so yeah, I went to not Halloween. I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween on Sunday, and then Saturday night, which is obviously the day before Sunday, I went to the Halloween thing that they do at Universal every year. And the thing at Universal is just basically a bunch of haunted houses. And this was the first year. They're saying it's the first year that they're doing like a WWE house, but years ago, they actually did an Undertaker house, like around like 2001, 2002, something like that. But they did a Wyatt Six house, and it was pretty fucking cool. Actually, it was one of the better houses. There's a lot of good houses this year, actually. Well, like, cause I mean, have you done a lot of haunted houses?
No, I might have done 3 in my life.
So, like, yeah, I mean, obviously the idea is like jump scares because they can't touch you. And so with these Universal haunted houses too, like there's a lot of good visuals. Like if you go to a local haunted house, it's probably going to suck balls, but they got a lot going on. And like the Wyatt Six thing, like they made the experience like you're walking backstage, right? Like that's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's lit up like how they would do the Fireflies on the Titantron to blend in with the crowd, and you walk in. And so you're walking through Gorilla. So like the TVs are all fucked up and everything. And you're seeing like clearly mannequins on the ground, but like one's supposed to be Chad Gable, but it doesn't look like him at all.
Oh, so when they first arrived.
Yeah. And then like randomly, like you'll have like Eric Rowan with the bunny mask popping out, and you got Gacy in there like several times, and Bray pops out, and yeah, obviously all the characters. But it's just like it's cool because Nikki Cross, I did a lot of shows with Nikki back in the day. Every time I see her, it's always great to see Nikki. And so like to see her incorporating that, like I had the opportunity to do a lot of shows with Gacy, and I've wrestled him a couple times. So it's cool, but like visually it was very impressive and kind of scary. And also, after that house was over, we actually ran into Otis and Mojo Rawley, who were hanging out together, and also Eddie. I don't know his last name. Eddie, the referee from WWE. He wrestled on the Indies as Bandito, way before Bandito now, because I wrestled him in the ECWA Super 8 back in 2012, the famous tournament that is always covered in PWI. Yeah. And so Otis, he's a fucking larger than life character. He seems like a dude we just hang out with.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like legitimately, like what you see on TV is basically him, except for he's even better in person. Like he's just like a dude talking about like, oh, I got a fucking boner going in this haunted house, and like just saying dumb shit like that, Yeah. And like he's a big horror fan, so it was cool. Mojo, big as fuck, nicest fucking dude. And
I've seen him before.
You've seen him?
Yeah, because when I did the gut check thing, he was there randomly. Oh, because it was part of the Arnold Classic.
Okay.
So that's why he was there.
Yep. Yeah. So Mojo was a really cool dude, and it was nice seeing Eddie for a second, dapped him up, like nice to catch up for a few minutes. And yeah, we ended up running into them again, and I think we did the Jason house together. I can't remember, but like Otis was like right behind us, like talking shit the whole time in one of the houses. And so there was a nice Jason house, but the point of all this was the Terrifier house. Mm-hmm. Really fucking scary, maybe the scariest house of the whole thing. But also, what made it even better, but also disgusting, was, I don't know, maybe you've seen this in the movies. In one of the movies, there's like must be a scene where like they're all dead in like a bathroom or something that involves like a lot of shit. Does that sound right?
Possibly.
Well, there's a part where you walk through where they got it set up like a bathroom with urinals and shit, and they like have water spraying on you, but they make it have a shit smell when it happens, and the whole area smells like sewage. Fucking nasty, because they just feel like you're getting sprayed with fucking shit.
Right.
It's horrible. It's like, oh, I don't like this. But it was very visually impressive and cool and fun, and the merch that they had made me want to just watch the films. It feels like a throwback to the horror movies that I grew up on in the 80s and the 90s, and I love the animatronics and the practical effects. And I did pick up the Wyatt 6 shirt, because I just feel like long term, who knows if they'll ever do a WWE Haunted House again, but it might be a very collectible piece of merch. You know what I mean? Like it's the Halloween's freaking Wyatt 6 shirt. Real quick, if you were wanting to see another WWE type haunted house, what would you consider? Maybe a Brothers of Destruction?
I was going to say maybe a modern day, because you said if they did an Undertaker one back then, maybe do a duo.
Yeah. Maybe a Brothers of Destruction. I feel like there's something where there definitely could be a Boogeyman haunted house.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, why not? With a bunch of worms and shit.
Would a Papa Shango work?
I feel like some of the characters, because there's enough scary characters where like maybe you could do a combination of a few scary characters from WWE history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe not even necessarily scary, but like let's just say you could somehow, and we're just envisioning that we still have these properties with WWE, but like you got Taker and you got Papa Shango, and you have like not necessarily scary, but there's been scary moments like Jake the Snake Roberts, you know what I mean? Like with the fucking snake and everything. Mm-hmm. And you could do something with the Hardy Boys, right? Like the Broken Hardys, right?
Gangrel,
the Brood, right? That's a thing. Obviously, if you expand beyond Undertaker, you have the Ministry of Darkness. I do worry as I say this, like maybe some of these would be like too niche, but I think there's a lot of potential for some pretty terrifying WWE style haunted houses, and it would be nice if Universal kept doing that. But very fun with the Halloween experience at Universal. Next day, we ended up doing our Fantastic Four costume for our yearly Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. And surprisingly, Quill stayed up the whole time. And I don't mean to brag or anything, but we just happened to walk into one of the restaurant portions when Max from a Goofy movie was there singing and performing, and me and Quill got to dance to Eye to Eye. It's pretty emotional, gotta be honest with you.
Some white people dancing.
White people dance? What does that even mean?
They got no rhythm. And I can admit that. I don't got rhythm, man.
That's not true. Not all white people
Not all.
lack rhythm.
Most of us.
Goofy movie is one of my all-time favorites, and it was nice to experience that with Quill, who's getting bigger and more talkative as each day passes. And I got to say, every year, I'm biased, clearly, but I feel like me and the Garganos kill it with the costumes. We go above and beyond the Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
Like every year, we've done the dinosaurs. I wasn't too excited about the Fantastic Four this year because I didn't think the movie was that great. Did you see it by chance?
Not the new one, no.
It's better than the other ones, but that's not saying much.
Right.
Because those movies fucking sucked.
I liked them because they were my childhood.
Well, I guess it's different when you grow up on it. There's a bunch of shitty movies that I like from my childhood that I watched a million times that other people are like, yeah, that's not a good movie. What are you talking about? But, I don't know. The movie focused way too much on a pregnancy, in my opinion. I'm not going to spoil anything for people that haven't seen it, but, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween is pretty basic. It's more so for the costumes, but we did a lot of, candy getting, because they hand out like big things of candy. Rode a couple rides. Tron, it's like a motorcycle gimmick ride. That's how I ended the night with Candace and her nieces, and because no one else wanted to ride it, and we rode a couple coasters. All in all, fun experience, but I didn't get enough sleep. But it was worth it for that 48 hours.
And here you are.
What are you doing for Halloween?
Well, the 30th and 31st is Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I'm going to those shows to try to help out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So I'll be, I guess, enduring Halloween, Hallowicked.
Maybe I'll hand out some candy by myself or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
Nothing planned. But hey, let's take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we will answer some of your questions from social media to wrap up the show. And I hope we haven't been too boring, but I feel like we've tackled a lot of subjects in the last half hour, right?
Yeah.
We've been all over the spectrum here, and we're definitely probably on the spectrum. But hey, more pro wrestling talk when we come back here on Iron on Wrestling. Hey, are you on your health and wellness journey? Are you not on a health and wellness journey? Well, if you're not, that's okay. And if you're on your journey, that's okay too. Because TNT Health is there to help you with whatever part of the journey that you're on. TNT-health.com has everything that you need to keep yourself going or get yourself started. We're talking pre-workout, post-workout, everything in between. I love using the creatine for my pre-workouts to really, get my muscles growing. And I got to help them recover after the workout, and I do that with the glutamine. I like to use their organic vanilla protein that I can mix with absolutely anything. I like to do it with some oat milk if I want to keep the calories low, but also if I want to keep them even low, as they say. Are the kids saying that? I don't know if the kids are saying that, but they might be. I know they say 6'7", and it's not as cool as 6'9". Let's be clear about that. But you definitely want to use the vanilla organic protein from TNT-health.com. And whether you're 6'7" or 5'4", like myself, that's my height, you're going to want to check them out because Mike and the good folks at TNT-health.com are going to help you every step in the way. They're going to help you with your goals. They're not selling you products. They're selling you results. And Mike wants to make sure that you're hitting the results that you want to. He's going to help you with your nutrition, your macros. He wants you to be as big or as ripped or, whatever your goals are, Mike's going to help you with that. And so you're not going to get that with Vitamin Shop or GNC. So do yourself a favor. Go to TNT-health.com. Free to look. But anything you buy, you get 10% off with Iron On. Promo code IRONON, IRONON. Save yourself 10% on anything you buy. So do it now because at TNT-health.com, it's about your health today, not tomorrow. But also, we got to talk about my good buddy. He's Juan. Amazing man. He's Juan Ortiz. And Of the Dead Designs. They are creating artwork, and they've been doing so for nearly 20 years, 20 whole years, for some of the most prominent figures within the professional wrestling industry. His stuff has been featured in Hot Topic and on action figures. And now you can get a piece of art for yourself or a friend, a loved one. It makes a great gift, perhaps maybe a merchandise design, perhaps a logo for your big or small business. Juan Ortiz can make that happen. And just because he's done things for many prominent and famous people, and you're not one of them, you don't have to be famous. It's okay. You could just be a regular Joe Schmo. And also, there's nothing wrong with being a Joe Schmo. I just want to make that perfectly clear. We can't all be in the limelight, but you could feel like you're in the limelight when you get a piece of art from Juan Ortiz because he's going to make it exactly the way you want it because that's the type of man he is. So, save yourself some money. Already affordable, but get $20 off when you mention Iron on Wrestling with your first design. $20. You can get like 4 alpacas to sniff your mustache for $5 each if you do that. Do you want to have an alpaca mustache sniffing orgy? Well, save yourself the $20 and contact Juan Ortiz to get yourself a design. Go to his website, ofthedead.weebly.com, facebook.com/ofthedeaddesigns. Follow him on Instagram at ofthedeaddesigns. Make sure you tell him Iron on Wrestling sent you, and you better do it because Juan Ortiz and Of the Dead Designs is bringing artwork to life. Well, that was fun. Answering some of the stuff earlier in the show and reading those commercials. You want to answer some questions real quick, Zach?
Sure.
Let's see. What were there any good questions underneath the Fantastic Four photo? Probably not.
How fantastic do you all look?
Dude, they said that so many times walking through the park to where I wanted to be like, oh, I haven't heard that yet. But I didn't want to be a fucking jerk. Let's see. Oh, by the way, a guy came into work today. Okay. Just want to point this out before I read some questions. He says, so his name on his social is Jimmy. Okay. It's Jimmy. As a reminder, I work at a plasma center, and you need 3 forms of ID. You need your ID, social security card, and a piece of mail within the last 60 days so we can verify your address. This guy brought in a social that said Jimmy, and then his license said Jimmie. And I said, Jimmy, we have a problem. Your name is not spelled the same on these documents, so you can't donate. And he goes, what are you talking about? It's the same thing. I'm like, it is not. Having your name spelled 2 different ways is not the same. And he goes, well, I go by Jimmie on my license. I was like, okay, well, that doesn't help because it's spelled a different way on your social. And then he goes, look right there. I said, it don't make a difference. Look how I sign my name. So on the license that says Jimmie, he signed his name Jimmy. I'm like, okay, you're making this worse, actually. You just said that you go by the IE, but then you signed Y. You're not going to be able to do it. He said, I'm 64 years old. And I said, yeah, so you had plenty of time to get this rectified. So you cannot do it until you fix this. And he was real mad. He's like, man, get out of here. So I was like, okay. And you know the struggle. Is spelling Zachary, Zachary, the same as spelling Zachary like you spell it, Sazery, or is that?
Did you say SH?
Did I?
You definitely said SH. Okay. Well, it's Zachery, and it's incorrect, but that's okay.
Your name is spelled incorrect?
Yeah, dude. It's that way is Zachary.
Well, in general, perhaps maybe the name Zach shouldn't end with an H.
Touche.
We're being fair here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Zach.
Yeah, see, Zach.
Let's see. I don't think there's any good questions here. Everyone asked dumb questions under the first one. Let's go back to last week when we didn't actually answer any of the questions that were submitted. Jason Amos says, which era of wrestling do you consider to have been the biggest pop culture phenomenon in your life? Well, I mean, I don't know. I do have a fondness for the 80s, 90s, early 90s WWF, but I feel like in my most formative years where I could actually like utilize what I was seeing in real life more with friends and stuff at school, I mean, it had to be the Attitude Era because I'm like walking around doing middle fingers and suck at chops and, especially when you consider how they incorporated new metal music into the show. If that stuff wasn't pop culture, I don't know what is. So, Zach, when you think about which era of wrestling you consider to have been the biggest pop culture phenomenon in your life, what do you think of?
Ruthless aggression.
Oh, boy.
You don't think so?
Maybe.
I feel like that was my childhood, but that's what I grew up on, you know?
But how did that, like, affect pop culture? Like, how did you see that in pop culture? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, John Cena did... I was going to say John Cena.
John Cena.
He did... Obviously, he is, right now, a pop culture phenomenon.
It's
took
true.
him a little while. So I guess, like, when you say John Cena, I guess, like, in general... I mean, look at him. He's like one of the biggest movie stars in the world. He's having this tour. He's ending his career on your birthday.
It's going to be a sad time. I'm going to cry, guys.
You got nothing going on that weekend? You ready to watch that?
I should have nothing. I don't know for sure yet.
We were talking about it last week, trying to debate how that show looks, that Saturday night's main event. Would you or would you not make it a whole card? Or would you just dedicate the show to John Cena? What would you do?
I feel like John wouldn't want WWE to dedicate the whole show to him, so probably a full card.
I think we're going to have different opinions here. I feel like, I don't know, like with the way they drag everything out now with the entrances and everything, like just the segment alone, if we're thinking that Saturday Night's Main Event is going to be 2 hours like every Saturday Night's Main Event was, now it might be longer now that it's not on network TV anymore. It's just going to be Peacock. Maybe we'll get a sense of how that's going to look this Saturday night when they do Saturday Night's Main Event. But I can easily see just the match and the entrances an hour. And then it's like whether John wins or loses, which I don't think he should lose because of the booking that was so bad at the front half of this tour. I don't want to see it end with him just be like, oh, bye. Like, I want him to talk before he leaves. And so, like, I think that in itself is going to be like over an hour. Like, what's the rest of the show? Why even waste your time doing any other matches? Like, just fucking build to the John Cena match.
Well, also, who does he face? That's the real question.
Well, the rumor's Gunther.
Dominic.
I mean, I think he's
Make
going
it
to wrestle.
Dom.
I think he's going to wrestle Dominic, but I don't think that's going to be his last match.
Dang, it would be nice. Have him win the IC title.
I mean, that's also a rumor. All right. Cole Dawson says, who are your fave 5 wrestlers to watch? Not best worker, not greatest of all time, just your personal 5 favorite to watch. And he lists his. 1 is Bret Hart, 2 is Eddie Guerrero, 3 is William Regal, 4 Tajiri, and 5 Too Cold Scorpio. I think for me personally, I would say like 5 guys that I could watch over and over again. Pretty much anything they do, and I take a lot from it. I'm going to go Bret, Shawn. I think that's 2 layups right there. I would go... I'm just trying to think like I got to watch their match a million times. Or their matches a million times. I think I'm going to go Mr. Perfect. I think I'm going to go Steve Austin. And I think I'm going to go Randy Savage. I feel like I wouldn't get tired of any of those guys wrestling. What about you? 5 guys that you could watch. Again, not best worker, not greatest of all time, just your personal 5 guys that you like to watch.
Razor Ramon.
Okay.
Chris Benoit. Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
CM Punk.
Okay.
And Randy Orton.
Damn, I don't know why I didn't think about Punk. That's a good choice. Those are good. Those are 5 good choices, I would say. Yeah. Michael Clark asked, best Pee Wee Herman movie. Have you even seen a Pee Wee Herman movie?
Not at all. Maybe bits and pieces of the show.
I mean, Big Adventure, I mean, obviously is the right choice. In fact, I think they used 2 or 3 bikes in the movie as the one bike that was stolen. And I saw one of those bikes live and in person at the Bicycle Hall of Fame. It's somewhere near, I think, Southern Ohio. I went on a date with some girl at the Bicycle Hall of Fame and Museum. Yes. Wow. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be Big Adventure. But I thought the Big Holiday was pretty good that came out. Big Top Pee Wee. I mean, I'm not going to say no to Pee Wee Herman. If you haven't watched the Pee Wee Herman documentary that came out a few months ago, definitely check that out if you're a Pee Wee Herman fan. Josh Excellent says, is you for real? I believe he's making a reference to the Hobo Joe line that was said to him from a little kid. Do you know this story?
Nope.
One time at a holiday party, Hobo was signing autographs, and a mom walked up to Hobo Joe with with her child, and she said, he's got to ask you a question. He's been wanting to ask you this all day. And the kid just looked at him and goes, is you real? And Hobo Joe said, yes, I am real.
like a real person or really homeless?
I would imagine he probably meant really homeless, but he said, "Is you real?
Okay.
Is you real?" Um, Josh Newman says, "Better Kids Game Show, Double Dare, or Funhouse?" I don't even know what Funhouse is, if I'm being honest. Now I have to look this up at some point. So I think by default, I'm going to say Double Dare. Now, I feel like you don't.
The Temple.
The Temple? You mean Legends of the Hidden Temple?
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
I think that's a great show.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I loved Double Dare, but I feel like Legends of the Hidden Temple was the one I always wanted to be on.
Yeah.
But again, as a reminder, Johnny Gargano told me back in the day as we were watching like that and like, did you ever watch Guts?
Yeah, I think like a few times.
Okay, so like we'd watch Guts and stuff, and then I'd be like, "Oh man, I always wanted to be on this show as a kid." He's like, "You would have been horrible," and I was like, "Why?" He's like, "You have one arm." And I'm like, "Oh." I guess I never really thought, but he's like, "You would have embarrassed yourself. Like, it'd been made fun of for eternity."
Probably.
Especially with the way the internet is now. Like, you would live in infamy. Like, it would have been bad when it came out, and then it would have went away for a long time. You're like, "Oh, thank God that's over." But then it would have resurfaced on the internet, and then just I'm like a fucking meme, dude.
That's true.
God damn, that's horrible. What was like a kid show from like more your era that you would have been into? Maybe something I don't know. Anything?
I thought the Legends of the Hidden Temple.
I mean, that was like '90s though. That was like my time.
It's
my time.
I don't know.
Guess they didn't do any cool shows back in the 2000s.
I mean, they not cool enough that you wouldn't know. Feel like you ever heard of Rocket Power?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like Rocket Power.
You know, Cat
Dog.
Dog.
Yeah, of course
obviously.
I know Cat Dog. Come on.
Certain ones I know.
Those aren't also those are not kids game shows. Cat Dog is not a kid.
You didn't say kids game show.
That's what I meant.
Well, you just said show. To be fair, I don't know any other kids game shows. Sorry.
Sean Jensen says, "What is the best sauce to put in a taco or a burrito?" Why is that funny to you? That's a legitimate question.
I guess.
I like the what is it? The tapatio? What? How do you say
Tapatio.
Tapatio. That's not how you say it.
Yes, it is.
Tapatio.
It is not how you fucking say it.
I can't say it. It's funny. Like I just can't read words sometimes.
I guess so.
Tapatio. Yeah, I think tapatio is good for anything. It's not too hot, and I just feel like it makes any dish or meat better. So why not put it on a taco or burrito? What say you, Zach?
Well, taco and burrito, I feel like salsa verde, which is like the green salsa.
Ben Raymond says, if you could speak the language of any animal, what would it be?
Gorilla.
Why are you picking gorilla?
Because that's what I am, man.
Why are you a gorilla?
Because that's what people would make fun of me calling me that in school, so I just embrace it. But also, why not? They're one of the strongest animals. You can be friendly and, have them as your friends.
You think you could beat up a gorilla?
Hell no. That thing would maul me.
You would tragically pass away.
Yeah. It's like 100 people facing a gorilla. Dumb idea.
You think it's a dumb idea, huh?
Hell yeah.
You don't think 100 people could take down a gorilla? One, at least a couple would have to be like a distraction. I think that's kind of the thing. It's like not every person is actually taking down the gorilla. Like a couple people have to be a sacrifice.
True. And then it's going to be distracted, and then someone's going to have to get an upper hand, right?
Yeah. Here's a good question. And this might get people listening. Mark Gladdy says, why was 440 disbanded? Great faction with everyone having their own strong personality and talent. Super group of the indies. Without getting too deep, I think it was really disbanded because some people that should have been involved in the blow-off did not want to participate, despite what they might have said on the internet for their reasoning. But also, I think it was just time. I think it kind of had run its course, right? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
when you really think about some of the greatest factions in the history of wrestling, and I don't want to look, I'm not saying 440 is one of the greatest factions in the history of wrestling, but I do think like it made its mark on the indies, especially during a time when independent wrestling really needed something happening, which was the COVID time period. Like 440 started in at the end of 2019 and went all the way until 2024. That's crazy. Like, you think of like peak DX, and like the first version is like Shawn, Hunter, Rude, China. That lasts from like September of '97 or October of '97 to March of '98. That's like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the new DX, which has Road Dogg included and Billy Gunn and X-Pac. Okay, that goes from like basically WrestleMania 14 to WrestleMania 15. And Triple H and China joined the corporation. And then they reform it again for a second at the end of '99, but then it just kind of fades away. And of course, they bring it back in 2006. Those are like all together, that's 3-4 years, right? Like
Right.
The Shield. People like consider the Shield as one of the greatest stables of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what, 2012 to 2014.
Yeah.
Came back periodically, Four Horsemen. You got so many different versions of that, but like Brian Horseman's like 85 to 87, 88. So to last 4.5 years straight, 5 years, I think that says a lot. When you think about the group disbanding, like obviously we came in towards the tail end, but like, what are your thoughts on all that?
Sucks. I feel like there could have been a little bit more with our storytelling, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we did what we could do.
Yeah. I mean, not everything has a definitive ending in wrestling necessarily. Doesn't mean that, you say never again. Something could happen down the line. But I think if nothing ever happened, I think the 440 six-person death match that happened at Ruthless Pro Wrestling in Chicago, I think that was very, I'm yawning, very fitting payoff. What else did that go through? Eddie Coger says any plans to get back in the ring soon. I don't feel comfortable with that. I hurt every single time I worked out my arm and my, particularly my side, as weird as that sounds, feels inflamed. It's because the pec tendon, the pec doesn't even hurt. People keep asking how my pec feels. Pec does not hurt. It's my shoulder. It's my shoulder. It's my rotator cuff. It's painful. And it's a pain I'm learning to live with, and I really don't want to expedite the process of ruining my only good arm. And so, sometimes you just gotta come to terms with the way things are. Sometimes you don't get to end things the way you want to end them, and you have to put yourself in a situation to where you can be at peace with that. And you have to also, especially when you love something, you have to get used to the new normal, not having that love in your life sometimes at all, or sometimes in the way that you got used to having it. So you learn how to walk with those things differently. And I'm thankful that I have things like a podcast to be able to have this creative experience with through wrestling, or to still be able to do some or to be able to do motivational speaking engagements. Physicality will be something that I miss, but I think I would miss using my only good arm much more. You ever think about that, like what your life would be out without wrestling, and what you would be missing?
Yeah, I'd be destroyed. It's one of my main escapes from reality, so that would just mess my whole world up, I feel like. Destroyed. I feel like you're a little too tired, buddy.
I mean, we started recording really late. I always get pretty wrecked this time of night, but also, mind you, probably slept 6 hours this whole weekend. Johnny Gargano ran me through a workout on the day we went to Disney, of course. And before I flew home to then go directly to my job, I slept for like 2 hours after being out at Disney until 2 a.m. So I think it's time to wrap up, but I will be doing some bonus stuff for Patreon here in the near future, and we will get that this week. I got a video coming with toy reviews, and please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen, and yeah, make sure you go to find me on social media at facebook.com/handicaphero, Gregory Iron on X, Gregory_Iron on Instagram. You can go to my website, handicaphero.com, if you'd like to book me for pro wrestling seminars, motivational speaking engagements, or whatever else. And you can find my cameo on there at prowrestlingtees.com/Gregory Iron. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you guys, and I hope you have a very swell Halloween. Zach, what would you like to plug?
You can find me on Facebook at Zach Thomas, Instagram at Zach_Thomas21, and X or Twitter at Zach_Thomas_21, I believe.
Okay, sounds good. And you do know that this isn't a video podcast, right?
No.
Oh, I guess that explains why you've been wearing a mask this whole time.
Son of a bitch.
I apologize.
I won't.
But hey, thanks for doing the podcast with me.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And until next week, episode 317, when Aaron, I would imagine, will be back in the building unless he tragically passes away, which we don't want.
He won't. No.
But until then, hey, here's a kiss goodbye between two brothers. Here we go.
Nah, I'm not taking it. I don't want it. Leave me alone.